Her own husband bargained her body like a stack of poker chips. Jonas K. did just betray Lila Rowan. He dragged her down into the filth of his debts, treating her not as a wife, but as a worthless token tossed onto a gaming table. In their cabin, a place once filled with vows of love, he shoved her hard, his breath sour with cheap whiskey. "You are not my wife anymore," he spat. "You were the payment tonight. You will cover my loss." The door creaked open. The creditor stepped in, a grin twisted across his face, the reek of liquor heavy around him. He seized Lila by the hair, ripping away the last shred of cloth clinging to her. Her tears did fall. They froze inside her, trapped by horror. She was livestock to them, bartered without pity. The walls seemed to close in, the room thick with smoke and sweat, each sound cut sharper, his voice grinding into her. "You are mine now, bought and paid for." But fate left her a weapon by the hearth. An iron poker leaned against the stone fireplace. Its surface glimmered faintly in the dull firelight. Her hand darted out. Her scream tore through the night as she swung with every ounce of desperate strength left inside her. The crack thundered through the cabin. Blood splashed hot across the floorboards. His body crumpled, twitching once, then lay still. Lila froze, chest pounding, the iron slick with blood in her grip. Had she killed him? She didn't know. She didn't stay to find out. Panic took hold. She stumbled toward the door, naked, trembling, clutching only a broken plank from a crate to hide herself. The desert night met her like a knife. Cold wind tore across her skin, stones cut her feet, thorns opened her flesh, leaving blood at every step. Still she ran. Behind her, the cabin burned in memory, a husband who betrayed her, a stranger who tried to claim her, a pool of blood that might belong to a corpse. She did dare look back. To look back meant death. Across the endless miles of sand and stone, her body faltered, lungs tearing, mind spinning in rhythm with her heartbeat. At last, she collapsed beside a dry stone well at the edge of a lonely homestead. Through blurred sight, she saw a man, wide shoulders, hair streaked with silver, a face carved by more winters than joys. She scrambled, clutching the board to her chest, her voice breaking into a cry. "Don, Don, take it away." The man did touch her. He did speak right off. He simply pulled the shirt from his own back and laid it gently over her shaking frame. His voice was low, steady, the kind that could steady gunfire. "Ain't nobody hurting you anymore, darlin'." For the first time, the night did feel so merciless. The desert did feel so endless. But the question dug at her soul. Had she killed a man back in that room? Or was someone already on her trail, ready to drag her back into hell? That night, the ranch house was quiet, the kind of quiet where fire crackles and coyotes sing far off. Lila lay on a narrow cot, Samuel S. shirt loose on her shoulders, wood smoke clinging to the fabric. Her body rested, but her mind never slowed. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the poker strike down, saw blood stain the floor. Her chest heaved. She bolted upright, clutching the blanket, gasping. I killed him. Lord, forgive me." The cry shattered the silence. A tin cup toppled, spilling water across the floorboards. Samuel stepped in. He did rush. He did scold. He simply stood, the firelight carving lines across his worn face. Lila's words tumbled out, jagged and broken. "I didn't mean to. I just wanted him off me. There was so much blood, too much blood. I don't remember if he moved. I don't remember if he breathed. Did I kill him? Did I?" Her sobs racked her body, small frame trembling. She buried her face in her hands, waiting for judgment. But Samuel did shout. He did call her wicked. He bent slow until his eyes met hers. "Sometimes," he said softly, "Sir Vivian, Don make you guilty." Layla blinked, stunned by the calm in his voice. His words settled over her like a blanket warmer than cloth. Her breath slowed. She lifted her eyes, searching his face for anger, but found none. For the first time in years, someone looked at her without disgust, without demand, without shame. Outside, the desert deepened. Inside, the lamp-esque glow washed her face, revealing a soul torn between guilt and relief. Her whisper barely carried, "What if he's still alive? What if he comes for me?" Samuel's gaze held steady. "Then you ain't fasten it alone." Those words weighed heavy but carried more promise than she could grasp. Her tears slowed. For the first time since fleeing, her body leaned into silence instead of fighting it. But deep down, one fear remained. Was the man she struck dead, or still alive, bleeding and hunting her trail across the desert? The ranch's peace shattered the next morning. Boots slammed against the porch. The door burst wide. Jonas K. filled the frame red-eyed, furious, the husband who betrayed her, the man who sold her for a debt. He crossed the room in 2 strides, jerking her hair back. "You were my wife," he barked. "You were coming home, filthy or not." Lila cried out, clutching Samuel, S shirt tighter, eyes darting toward the rancher. Samuel rose slow from his chair. He didn't rush, he didn't shout, but the scrape of wood across the floor spoke louder than rage. Jonas raised his hand to strike. Before it landed, Samuel reached above the hearth and drew down a pistol older than either of them, a relic from war, still loaded, still true, the barrel leveled steady. His words cut sharp. "You lay one more hand on her, and I swear I'll erase the Cade name tonight." Jonas froze, hand trembling in the air. Rage curdled into hesitation. Samuel's eyes told him, no bluff, no mercy. Jonas shoved Lila aside, stumbling back toward the door. His voice cracked with venom. "This ain't over, old man." Then he stormed out, the door slamming hard behind him. Lila stood trembling, tears falling, breath ragged. Samuel lowered the pistol, placed it back on the mantel, and turned away. No gloating, no speech, just a man who drew his line. Lila's whisper cracked. "You saved me again." Samuel poured water, slid the glass across, and sat back down in silence. "Now, friends, take a breath with me. Maybe pour a drink, sit back, and let this tale settle. And while you are here, tell me in the comments what time it is, where you are listening from. I'd love to know. And Don, forget hit that subscribe button. It's free, it's quick, and it keeps you close when the next chapter arrives. Because Jonas Cade once finished, and the law itself was about to ride onto Samuel's ranch. The next dawn, long shadows stretched across the yard. Jonas returned, but not alone. Dust trailed behind him, another rider close. The badge of a sheriff glinted on his chest. Layla froze, her stomach sank. Would she be dragged back as nothing but her husband as property? Samuel stepped onto the porch, calm as stone. He recognized the sheriff, Warren Briggs. Years ago, at Cold River, Samuel had pulled him from the dirt, bullet in his side. Warren had sworn never to forget. Now they stood across from each other, memory heavy between them. Jonas wasted no time. He jabbed a finger at Lila. "That is my wife. She ran off and this old fool's hiding her. Arrest him. Bring her back." Lila clutched the shirt tighter, fear mixing with fury. Her voice cracked. "He sold me to pay a debt." The words ripped the air like a whip. Jonas's face burned with rage, but Sheriff Warren did move his eyes from Samuel. He sat tall in his saddle, voice steady. "I remember Cold River. I remember who saved me from the dirt. That man right there." He pointed at Samuel. "I owe him my life, and I won to forget it for a drunk who gambles away his wife." Jonas stammered, tried to argue, but Warren's hand hovered near his revolver. "A man who sells his wife, Don, to own her anymore. Touch her again and I'll put you in the ground myself." The silence that followed was heavy. Jonas shrank, bluster stripped away. Lila stood taller. She wanted to just pray anymore. The law, for once, stood with her. Warren gave Samuel a small nod. "You keep her safe. The law won to trouble you here." With that, the sheriff wheeled his horse and rode off, leaving Jonas choking on dust. Jonas glared one last time but said nothing. He climbed onto his horse and followed, defeated in a way no card game could undo. Lila's chest swelled. Her eyes shimmered with something long forgotten hope. Inside, Samuel returned to his chair, poured black coffee, and said nothing. But his silence spoke more than any sermon. Yet, the desert never surrenders its secrets, and Lila still wondered, would she ever truly be free? Or had she only borrowed time before fate came calling again? Days drifted by slower than the desert sun. Lila worked around Samuel's ranch, bare feet on worn boards, hands finding rhythm, in chores she never knew before: feeding hens, hauling water, stacking wood. At first, every rider passing sparked terror, but each evening, Samuel's quiet steadiness held the shadows back. He never pried for her story again. He never asked for payment. He gave space, and in silence she found pieces of herself returning. Some nights she laughed softly, startling even herself. Other nights she looked at Samuel across the table and saw not just a man but a safe harbor. Yet fear still whispered. Jonas, as threats haunted her, the memory of blood haunted her. One night by candlelight she wrote a note on torn paper. "You saved me, Samuel, but if I stay he might come for you too. I'll return when I am no longer a danger." She folded the note, placed his shirt beside it, and slipped out into the night. When Samuel found it come morning, he did chase. He sat in silence, the shirt across his lap. His rough hands gripped the fabric, and in a whisper softer than wind, he said, "She came with nothing, and somehow left me with everything." Her absence filled the cabin more than her presence ever could, but it was a reminder broken lives can still spark light in another soul. Now, friend, let me pause right here. Tell me in the comments, do you think surviving makes someone guilty or stronger? If you saw a woman like Lila running barefoot through the desert, would you stop your horse? Stories like this remind us kindness can alter a life. Even a stranger can stand between despair and hope. If this tale touched you, give it a like so more folks can hear it. And don't forget hit subscribe, because you will want to be here when the next story rides in. And now tell me, where are you listening from? And what time is it where you are? I'd love to know, because stories don't just belong to the past. They live on in the people who carry them. Maybe tonight that person is you.